Hey there, it's James. Welcome to another conversation about creating peace in the world. And my hope is that we can start having conversations through Facebook Live and live streams, Twitch, and work on ideas and how we can best create a world of peace together and unite the United States towards a common goal where we all have everything that we need. I think that's like the basic idea, is that everybody has what they need. Um, I think right now America is hurting, and I feel everybody is probably feeling really hurt and stressed and anxious and like they don't have peace. And I feel like it's intentional. I feel like there is definitely a reason for people to keep us divided, and I think that sucks so very much. And it makes me so upset that everywhere you look, in all kinds of different ways, media companies and political talking heads and shock jocks, etc., are just making us all mad and making us all turn against each other. And I understand why. You know, they have a way of life to protect, and they benefit from this sick world that they've all created. And I'm sorry that that's happening for all of us right now. And I want to offer forgiveness to everyone. I feel like the most important thing we can do right now is forgive each other, because, I mean, I feel like the left and the right and the people in the middle have all been brainwashed, depending on which news you listen to or read or the people in your life. And we often get forced into these ways of thinking. And, you know, yes, we have the ability to get out of those ways of thinking, but sometimes really hard. The peer pressure of the people around you, and then just, you know, the echo chamber, you know, looking for and wanting to hear information that proves your theories on everything. It's very common. I know I do it, and I get all upset and stressed about stuff too. And I want you to know that you're not alone. And like, if you're on the right, thank you for watching, first of all, because I want you to know that I'm an ally, even if you voted for Trump, even if you believe things that I don't agree with. I just want you to have peace in your life. I want you to have a job that you enjoy and are safe at when you're working, and that you make enough money to pay for your family, to have what they need to survive, and that you're not oppressed and you're not judged and harmed by others. I want you all to be equal and at peace. The same for those of you on the left. Thanks for watching. I want you to know that I wish all those things on for you and your family and loved ones and neighbors as well. I wish that for everyone. And it breaks my heart that we are in this situation that we're in. And so I want to offer forgiveness for all of the mistakes that we've made. And I want to ask for forgiveness for all the mistakes that I have made. I am still so far from who I want to be, and I'm far from doing the things that I want to do to live my best life. It's so hard. You know, it's so hard to not lose your temper, and so hard to not get stressed, and so hard to not make mistakes. It's just being a human, being alive, being in 2020. All of those things are just so hard, and you add it all up together. It's just this really unfortunate place that we find ourselves in. But we don't have to stay here. But if we keep on the path that we're currently on, and right now I'm speaking to anybody who's out in the street right now threatening violence, committing acts of violence, on the internet threatening violence, doing harmful, hateful things, like, you are all disrupting the peace in the world. In yourselves, in the people around you, in the world. You're messing stuff up real bad with this violence. And I know some of us are just sick of it, and we've had enough, and it's time to get crazy, people think. And I think yeah, I'm sick of it and I'm ready to do something crazy, but that crazy isn't to kill you or harm you, but like fix all the stuff that's messed up. If we put all of this rage and protesting and energy into fixing stuff, cleaning up the environment, making sure our children are getting the best quality education, um, loving and taking care of our elders and the sick, like building the infrastructure that the America needs to take care of its people, like that kind of crazy energy, like action would be grand. I would be really excited about that type of efforts. And so I'm just asking all of you who are like so mad at everything, because I understand I'm so mad at everything. That's why I went for a run. I was so depressed all day and so anxious and so upset all day with all the waiting for these ballots to be counted that I just had to go run, and it hurt and it was hard and I didn't get very far, and probably only lasted like 40 minutes, but I did it and I felt great after doing it. And so it's like one step in the right direction. I'll probably the next 3 or 4 days I'm going to be a depressed mess and not get out of my house. That may happen for me, and I accept that is a pattern I'm in right now, and I'm sure all of you out there are probably going through some patterns that aren't healthy and that you wish you could break, and they're hard as hell. I'm with you. I feel like crap. I've had so many health issues and my energy, and I can't think like I used to. I feel like I'm just so stressed about the state of the world because I'm worried about you all. I'm worried about my family and my friends and my neighbors and my country, and I don't know what to do about it, except I feel like I've been having breakthroughs around, like, maybe I do know. And what I think it is that we all know. Like, it's our individual understanding that is the most important thing, because we all have this, like, distinct view of the world. Like, we experience our day to day and we see the challenges within our individual lives because the world's problems are so huge. Like, I was running and I was thinking, there's so many things that are wrong. There's so many things that are wrong that I don't even know that are wrong. I wouldn't even know where to start to make anything right about it. And so that thought is just devastating to me. This idea that there's so many problems, like people suffering and dying and awful, horrible, terrible things happening right now that I don't even know that are awful. Like oil tankers leaking oil and just there's so much stuff, nuclear things leaking into our oceans, and it's just so much, and it's just so overwhelming. And I can get everybody's rage, and I can get why the people in charge want us to be mad and angry and kill each other, because they make a lot of money off of war and bullets and weapons. And then when our numbers are dwindled because we've all killed ourselves, they're still rich, they still have everything, they rebuild society the way they want it, like that is a possible outcome in all of this. And like, I don't think anybody really wants that. And I don't think the people on the right who are foaming mad about stuff that how they've been wronged and what is not right in America, and just like the progressive left, how we're so angry and mad about stuff that ain't right in America. But we're all mad about, it's probably similar stuff. I know there's some stuff that's different. There's these differences in abortion and homosexuality and all of these things that tear us apart, but they intentionally tear us apart. But like I think we could move past those hard things for a little while and just like take care of the like quality of life things that need to improve, like food and water and shelter and employment and education and the things that humans all need. We spend so much time and energy and resources on the things that people are selling, which don't matter at all. Our whole society is based on this just flawed idea of capitalism and what free markets are supposed to be. None of it's free markets or capitalism. All this is just this big fixed rigged game where if you have money and you can get away with anything. And if you're just a regular person like me and most of the people I know, any mistake that you make could be life-changing, And it's sad, but it doesn't have to be like this, right? We don't have to keep going in this direction. You can make shifts. There were times in my life where I was making terrible choices and I wasn't proud of who I was, and then I decided to make choices to not do those things. I can make choices to not eat as much junk food and exercise more, and I would feel better if I did, but it's hard, right? This is hard. And so I'm just encouraging you all, I'm forgiving you all, I'm giving you all another chance, I'm asking for another chance. I want to make things right, and I can only do it with you. That's the biggest breakthrough I had in my run today, is that I had this relief like, oh God, you know what? I can't do anything by myself to make the world better. Like, I've tried all of these things. I feel like my life has been filled with so many failures, so many things that I thought were important and I worked real hard at, and I tried to do them and they just didn't work. And it's disappointing, but I tried, and that felt good to try to create something and make something and do something that helped people. Like, I appreciate that I've had those experiences, but it sucks to have failed so many times at doing these things that I thought were important and worth doing. And it's really hard to get people to support you in your things because they're all doing their things and they want you to support them. And I try to support them. And it's just, at the end of the day, this whole complicated mess, which is our life, doesn't have to be so complicated and it doesn't have to be so hard. And we all kind of contribute to the way it is, and we can all shift our consciousness through meditation and peace work and conversations and counseling, whatever you need to do to get out of your bad habits. And I hear you, it's hard. It's not going to happen soon. It's just like constant work that we all have to do, right? We don't ever stop doing this self-evaluation, self-work, trying to be better, trying to live this mess of a life. But I'm with you. Doesn't matter who you voted for. Like, all of it's corrupt. All of it's a lie. All of it is just stealing our resources, stealing our work, stealing our country from us. And it's both sides. You'll see the bad folk on both sides, but they're forcing us to choose a side, and that's where they win, is when we choose a side, when we say the right, the left, they're all bad. But it's the bad actors are bad within the parties and with external from the parties, and it's up to us to become allies and support each other and be honest and actually create things that help in our communities. Let's stop all the fighting and the ignorance and the hate, and let's just really put our differences aside and say, hey, let's look at our community, look at our town, look at our city. What is failing? What needs to change? Who's got the skills and the resources to make these changes? How do we work together? How do we listen and hear each other's advice? The right isn't stupid about everything. The left isn't stupid and greedy about all of these stupid assumptions, simple stereotypes that people try to use to divide us are lies. It's all lies. They just lie to us to make us fight with each other because they want us to not cooperate. They win if we're fighting, cooperating. So let's help them lose by being open to each other, being open to the right, being open to the left, be open to the centrists, be open to the socialists, be open to the communists, be open to everybody except the haters. If your thing is about hating people or hating countries or hating stuff, do some internal work, get to a place where you can get out of the hate part and figure out what you actually need, from the people that you're having a problem with or from yourself, and think about a new way to ask for what you're looking for. If you hate somebody because they're different, there's something wrong, and you got to figure out what it is, why you feel the way that you do, and maybe have an honest conversation with people who may fit into this stereotype that you are now judging everybody of that color or race or whatever, religion, to be a certain way, and have a conversation with them and find out the truth. Maybe you realize that, hey, I've been hating you because of this one simple thing, and in fact, I appreciate you because of X, Y, Z now, and I'm grateful that I've had this conversation and that you've had this conversation, and we can make some peace. Because, again, all of this hate based on sports teams or colors or religions and all that, it's intentional to divide us, right? They're making us hate others so that they can use us to manipulate us. So let's stop being manipulated. I honestly think we should all be turning off all of the cable corporate news, all the for-profit news, all of it. Fox and MSNBC and CNN and all that crap's got to go. It's poisoning us all. It's all a bunch of lies just to fool us. And all of these people using it, for the most part, are taking advantage of you and manipulating your mind to get you to believe things that you shouldn't believe. And oftentimes they're actually against your best interests. The things that they're getting you to believe are not good for you. and they're getting you to make choices that are bad for you. And I'm sorry, it's awful. They do it to me, they do it to everybody. They are convincing us of things through Facebook and media and all these tools to believe things. And you should watch The Social Network if you haven't yet. It's really informative and scary, and something I think every human should do. But I feel like that is a great amount of time to talk about this peace work, forgiveness, unity, not allowing ourselves to be lied to and taken advantage of, and working on things that benefit the people in your life. Like let's just get down to my sphere of influence. Like the people in my life who I can actually do something about. Let's spend a few years, months, like focused on that. Like let's create communities that are supportive and working. If everybody worked in their own community, create a community that worked, eventually there'd be more and more of them, and they'd start trading and helping and supporting each other, and there'd be lots of examples of the way to do it right. And we can have these little community hubs, and it'll spread like a big Venn diagram of peace and cooperation and sustainability across the entire nation. And then we can like stop fighting with each other. Let's all try to like reduce the amount of abortions in the world, so that maybe there won't be abortions, because people can get good prenatal health and get taken care of and have the resources they need, so that when they have their baby, they can give it to a good family who wants to adopt it. And for those people who don't want to have babies because they're not ready, they can get sex education, so they know what to do and have access to birth control and stuff. Like these little things, like it's like I'm pro-life, but you can't stop yourself from getting pregnant, and you can't learn about how to do it right. Like it's the most confusing thing to me, that maybe we can find a way to work it out, because I feel like if you're in danger and you want the choice to make choices with your body, you should have the right to, especially because I'm a man and I don't have that as a choice, so I don't really have a right to say. So I feel like everybody who is able to have children should be able to make choices about what they want to do. And who is it for us to say? And I think that we should have less abortions, because we need our babies. Our children are our future. They're the most important thing in the world. And so if we had great resources for pregnant mothers and the babies, and help those babies get to good families, like we could prevent many abortions. Sex ed, birth control, great adoption policies can change that issue. So see what I'm saying? Like there's these issues that are really serious that we fight about. We can't stand each other and hate each other about them. But maybe there's solutions that we all win from. Like we don't have to fight as much. Like if we could greatly, dramatically reduce the amount of abortions in the world, the right would be really appreciative of that. And I can assure you that the left would be, because nobody who I know on the left is excited about getting abortions. They just want the choice that if they're going to die because their baby is something's wrong, or their baby's already dead, or whatever it is, that they want to make a choice. I feel like they should have a choice, and I don't think it's your right to tell anybody what they can do with their body like that. So, but help us not get pregnant and have unwanted pregnancies and need to get abortions, right? Like the middle ground, instead of fighting and hating, like, hey, let's talk this out and come up with a plan and be willing to compromise. Like that's one of the biggest problems. People aren't willing to compromise anymore. They don't want to find middle ground. They just want everything the way they want it. They want it right away. They need their Amazon to send the stuff immediately to them, and they can't wait. And so we waste so much fuel, and it's such a crazy world. So let's slow down. Let's think about what we can do, what our skills are, what our talents are, what our resources are, how we can help in our community, and let's try that for a little while, because this thing ain't working, man. I'm just, it's stressful. And if I wasn't so stressed, I'd be able to help more, right? And you too. So I love you, peace. I hope that your family and friends and neighbors are all well and safe and healthy. And I look forward to the next talk. Hopefully soon we'll have more interactive talks rather than me just talking. But please comment below if you have anything to add, share your own videos, and I love you. Peace.